Hello everyone, it's Christmas at RG Union and you are so very specially welcome to our Christmas chat with peer support. It's the everyone happy, we're all happy here at RG Union, but we're also going to be talking about the side of things and today we're meeting with peer support to discuss some of these issues, especially during the holidays. My name is Dami Adesoya and I'm President Education and Welfare. Can we meet you guys?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know who peer support are, we fall under the union here. So we're a peer-to-peer support group and we're kind of appointments to any students who are suffering from any mental health and wellbeing concerns, whether it be depression, anxiety, stress, homesickness, anything thereof, and so forth. Just offer a wee bit of a chat, just a listening ear with any of our peer supporters who've received training just to be able to handle anything that may arise. So quick introductions. I'm Diana, so I'm Chair of Peer Support.
My name's Erin and I'm Vice Chair of Peer Support.
I'm Sarah and I'm the Secretary of Peer Support.
I'm Becky and I'm the Appointments and Booking Coordinator.
Absolutely, really nice to have you guys on our chat today. Are you excited about holidays, about Christmas?
Yeah. You know, it's been a tough wee while and then, like things are kind of starting to go back to normality and then done.
Yeah, and you know, talking about tough periods, as a community, we have some students who may not be looking forward to Christmas. What are some of the things that students can do to stay occupied during the festive season?
Yeah, definitely. I think so much emphasis is put on like how happy and like Christmas period is, but not everyone may feel that way due to certain kind of circumstances that maybe arise. I mean, my kind of top tip is just try and keep yourself busy. Big things that, you know, you could be doing simple things like, you know, read your favorite book or read a new book, depending on where you kind of derive comfort from. Watch movies if you have access to your family and friends. Get in contact with themselves. Definitely don't isolate yourself. That's one of the worst things you can do, 100%, in that kind of situation.
You just take care of yourself, like keep up self-care. That's true.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even doing things like maybe FaceTime on your family as well, or setting up like a family quiz night, or with your friends FaceTime for that. Even on Netflix and a lot of the streaming sites, you can do like watch parties. So it can make you feel like you're maybe watching a movie with someone rather than just watching Netflix on your own. So it gives you that more like connection that actually feel like you're with someone and a person.
Yeah, cool. And loneliness and perhaps boredom is something that can be expected if you stay alone during this time. Especially we have some students who will be staying alone, international students, and even home students who will just probably be not living with family at this time. And what is peer support's top tips to handling loneliness?
I think, as I kind of just said, is like definitely don't isolate yourself during these times. Just keep up with family and friends, and if you don't have access to them, there's a lot of kind of mental health charities who run. They offer kind of helplines, shall we say? But all you have to do is call them up, and they will have a conversation with you. They will chat with you. You know, you have fantastic charities such as kind of Samaritans, and you can use breathing space and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have any other suggestions.
I think one of the important things is, which I find, is to keep in touch with your feelings. You know, so if you do feel isolated, I feel that and acknowledge that it's okay to feel that way, and use some of the tips and the advice that we've been given today to kind of take yourself out of that. You know, there's a lot of things going on within Aberdeen. You know, if you're into Christmas, you've got the Christmas markets, you know, and to kind of abolish the stigma and the opinion around doing things on your own. You know, you can't go to the cinema yourself, you can't go to the Christmas markets yourself, and it's to kind of step away from that and be like, you know what, I am going to go to the Christmas markets, I am going to go to watch a film, and it's just kind of accepting that it's not a bad thing. We all do. I know that I certainly like being in the cinema myself, and I'm okay to say that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think definitely the best thing you can do for yourself is be comfortable within your own skin, be comfortable with spending time by yourself.
And that is such a big problem these days with social media, phones, gadgets. Yeah.
You always feel like you have to be connected to someone but that's not entirely the case. And I say, like, the best thing you can do is just learn to be comfortable with yourself and spend time with yourself. It's probably one of the best forms of self-care you can do, is just happy within yourself, because that's someone you can always rely on, is yourself.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. Like, it's kind of like nice sometimes to go shopping on your own. I think it gives you that space to be able to like go to where you want, look at what you want, spend as much time looking around the shops that you care about and what excites you. So yeah, definitely. Even like being comfortable, like sitting in the flat, like in your room yourself and just de-stressing. I think sometimes it's quite nice to be on your own, to kind of have that time to collect your thoughts and de-stress.
Absolutely. First Christmas here, when I came as a new student to Aberdeen, that would be closed on Christmas. Really, I was depressed. I tell you, because I done my shopping, I done the cooking and all, but being away from family for the first time in the UK, it was so sad. And if a student finds themselves in that situation, especially, you did mention that we should be comfortable in our own skin, but some people are just not that way. What would you say? How can we handle it?
I think a fantastic part of kind of like RGUs are like extensive societies as well. So it's even maybe perhaps getting in touch with one of the societies here at RGU and kind of reaching out to them. So, you can go on the RGU Union website and have a look at the list of societies, have a look at their social media, maybe get in touch and ask them like, hey, is your society doing anything for during the Christmas period or anything? And maybe trying to get in touch that way and form friendships. Sign up to society during Freshers Week. That's definitely not the case. So you can get in contact, societies. I'm more than happy to get people on board and start making new friends. So I would say that's, I think, something really good, especially for students who are maybe not established yet, but as a part of RGU, you have access to all these kind of groups of people who share similar interests, and that's a really good icebreaker, I think. So it's definitely something to maybe look into to kind of avoid that isolation of yourself.
Yeah. Maybe check if the uni are doing, actually like uni overall are doing something for Christmas. See if they're running anything for international students. I think they mentioned it at one of the student forums that they were thinking about organising something for students that would be here over Christmas. So I'm not too sure what they have organised, but maybe look into that as well.
And I think just on the back of what Deanna was saying and Becky is to kind of be organised, and if you know that you're going to be out on your own this Christmas, see what, there's quite a lot of things that's on Christmas Eve, on Union Street and stuff like that, and see if you can kind of make a plan so you're foreseeing what, issues may arise for you. And again, going back to being in touch, just acknowledging that, Christmas Day on my own might be a bit of a sad day. This and this, Christmas Day, Channel 4 has got lots of Christmas movies. Not everyone can afford Netflix and Amazon Prime, so I know that on the actual TV themselves, there's a lot of films and stuff on, and
keeping yourself occupied probably.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you mentioned some of the plans that we have, even at the Union on Wednesday, the 8th, we have a Christmas walk and talk event with RGU Sports. So even if you don't want to sign up with a society or something like that, we also have something with RGU Sports and our sports club as well. So it's happening on the 8th of December. That's on Wednesday at 12. So come on, Christmas jumper and your you can wear your Santa hats as well. And make friends for the holidays as well. So thanks. And you did mention something about people feeling sad. I don't know, do you want to chat to us about seasonal affective disorder, which humorously has been shortened to SAD, sort of like feeling sad. What is this disorder and what can someone who finds themselves in such an emotional state do about it?
Yeah, so as you say, seasonal affective disorder is also known as SAD. It can also be known as kind of winter depression because symptoms of it tends to kind of rear its head. It becomes a bit more severe during like autumn and winter. Although it can happen at other times. So it's a type of kind of depression that happens in seasonal patterns. The kind of mirror depression, very similarly, it's persistent low moods, you have a loss of pleasure and interest in everyday activities that you maybe previously really enjoyed doing. an increase in irritability, feelings of despair, guilt, and worthlessness, so just having no energy, or just feeling really sleepy, especially during the day. And then even finding it really hard to get up in the mornings. So the cause of SAD isn't kind of fully understood yet. It is thought to be linked to kind of the long nights and, you know, the lack of kind of sunlight we get, especially kind of being up here. You know, it gets very dark. It's, you know, it doesn't get light until late and it gets dark very quickly. So it's like it's something to do with like exposure to sunlight. It affects the way your brain works and the production of different kind of hormones such as your melatonin and your serotonin. And internal clock. I mean, like our body tells us, you know, okay, I want to wake up now, or I feel tired, but the lack of sunlight begins to affect that, and then that's when the feelings of being sleepy all the time kind of kick in because your body's getting confused with the lack of kind of environmental cues of like, when should I sleep? So if it's true to encourage going to your GP if you are able to, as they have like a range of things to kind of assist you with these feelings to stop it kind of getting to the you know, not everything can be solved with like, they won't just throw medication at you instantly. You know, you can try different things such as like changing how your lifestyle is going. So, as I say, sunlight is kind of rare. Trying to increase your likelihood of being out in the sunlight. So, you know, when it's, you know, the sun's out, try go for a wee walk, which ties in with like exercise, like try and exercise regularly. It's been shown to help mental health and give you that sense of routine that you need. And also to manage your stress. So this can manifest differently for different people. It's finding what works for you in your de-stressing techniques and using that to your advantage. You know, when stress starts building up, try and get that under control. And you might find that that will the symptoms that you're feeling. If that kind of doesn't work, you could then try something called light therapy. So it's where you will get this kind of light box that will simulate natural sunlight. And that's been shown to help people who suffer from SAD. And then you've got like talking therapies. So, you know, getting in touch with a counselling service, whether that's here at RGU, whether you decide to use peer support, just to kind of talk out these feelings. Definitely, I'd say the worst thing you can do in this situation is isolate yourself, because that's only going to increase the symptoms and worse. So best thing you can do is kind of get in touch with a mental health service and just try and talk about it, or go to your GP and get a counsellor kind of that way. And then all else fails, they will kind of look into medical interventions of like kind of antidepressants and stuff. But I think the main thing to know is, even if you're having these feelings or you feel like you're suffering, it's treatable. They can do things. Like, you know, it's not the end of the world. You just need to take that first step, which is always the hardest, to get in help.
Absolutely. I think just to emphasise on, Gianna pointed out, you know, getting in touch with people. You know, we obviously are here peer support and continuing our service up until the 20th. Unfortunately, we can't provide a service while the university is shut for reasons in their constitution. However, you know, we are here up until the 20th. We'll be back on the 5th. You know, so if you do feel as if you are wanting someone to talk to and you don't know who to go to, you know, get in touch with us and we can help and support you. You know, if we can't help you, we can signpost you on to who can. And sometimes it is just about, you know, I don't know what you guys think, but just having someone to talk to, even if you don't know them, it's just getting things off your chest.
Yeah.
You know, we all didn't know each other before peer support, but now we use, you know, each other to kind of sit and, I'm having a really bad day, and, you know, and it's just, it does make you feel better. You know, you do get a little bit of relief from just having that 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of talking to someone.
Even just saying it out loud all day, and then just saying it out loud to someone else. I think if they don't say anything back, it's just saying it out
weight off your chest. I think just like actually say it out loud, because sometimes if you ruminate on it in your head, it's worse because you build up more and more. But sometimes when you get out to someone, you actually like gives you a chance for, even you sometimes can like de-stress, like bring yourself back down from that.
I think kind of like on the back of that, like if you don't have or feel like you can't contact these services for whatever reason, even journaling is kind of been shown to help. Just thoughts that are going in on your head and writing them down on a bit of paper and looking at them can be shown to like kind of relieve that stress, because it's getting it out from your head into like a physical place where you can look at it from an objective standpoint and be like, you know, these thoughts I'm having maybe aren't the most rational, and it helps you to begin to kind of work through that. So but I 100% recommend to kind of get in touch with a service to help you out with that.
And when it comes to evenings, you know, if you find evenings are difficult, RG have got a fantastic service for the Nightline, you know, so you can find out about Nightline through the union, and like the union team themselves. You know, you could walk into the union at any point and say, you know, I'm having a bit of a tough time, and they can also help you and signpost you on to. But if you find after evenings are the worst and peer support within the university are not operating, Nightline are available 8 till 8, so it's worth having a look at their page. You can call them. I'm not sure what the hours are just now, but
I think it's about 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Whereas we run on the reverse. We
Yeah.
do 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that, Erin. And definitely, if you're coming into the office to speak to any of the union representatives, you can always send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we'll definitely respond. I'm sure students can reach out to you via social medias.
If you kind of get in contact with us through our social media, we're on Facebook, Instagram, we're on TikTok.
Yes, that's it.
That is our GU peer support. So if you're not already following us, maybe give us a follow. And we post a lot of tips on how to manage different kind of mental health concerns and advertise different services.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very important that we talk about stress just now, just because it's assessment season, everyone's stressed about, you know, handings. What are some of the things that we can do? Because I think personally, I'm also stressed. And we do on the spot to relieve ourselves of stress and, you know, get ready for the holidays.
I think going for a walk definitely is such a cliche thing, but it really does. I think it's quite nice to just get out in some fresh air. Like we were saying, when you're sat at the same desk, looking at the same laptop for the same, it's like you're in that same environment. I think the environment starts to feel a bit like closed in. You feel a bit like that. So I think sometimes just even getting out into the fresh air and going for a little walk. It's really good. Or even go for a little coffee. Or you're like meeting up with friends, or like meeting up from some of your course. I think when you speak about that, someone that knows what the assignment is, it really relieves stress because they understand where you're coming from, and sometimes it can make you feel like a bit better because you can talk it through and understand what someone else is doing, and it can sometimes make you think, okay, I'm doing it right, I'm on track. Definitely.
I think a very immediate concern, like you're feeling the stress right here, right now, and you need to kind of relieve that stress in a healthy way. Try some grounding techniques, you know, try some breathing exercises, you know, breathe in through your nose for 4, hold it for 4, and then breathe out through your mouth for 6.
Maybe you can take us on one of that just now.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a big inhale through our nose, and I'll do the counts. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth, 2, 3, 4. And then we just kind of repeat that as often as you need it. And I find that something that really works. You know, there's a lot of different kind of YouTube videos who will take you through this guided thing, so you don't have to sit in your head going, for you. Or there's kind of different apps that you can use that do guided meditation and stuff like that. I find doing it for a minute or two, just, you know, sitting back, closing my eyes, doing that. I think that's a really good kind of reliever. I mean, it then slows down your heart rate, and then because of that, you know, the anxiety levels start to decrease, the adrenaline levels within you start to decrease. So it stops that panicking you get when you start getting stressed in the world. And it's good to just take a step back and just breathe for just a minute, and it helps a lot more than you would think.
Yeah, definitely.
Other things, I actually read an article and it was so useful. Other things, like if you feel quite high, you know, anxiety levels, putting on music, dance music for about 30 seconds kind of releases that endorphins. It just kind of, although it's high paced, it does slow everything down. It gets that stress,
That energy. When like you feel like your whole body's like vibrating inside and it starts to feel sore. I think that's a really good point. It's just, and you know, it's not gonna be the end of the world if you take, you know, a couple minutes away from your work. Like it's fine.
It's more beneficial sometimes. I think maybe sometimes you do feel like you think, oh, I've not got any time, I need to sit and do this, but sometimes it can be more productive to come away from it, even for like half an hour, because then when you go back, your head's a bit clearer. Rather than if you're sitting there struggling with it anyway, there's no point sitting staring at the screen with it. That make you feel a bit worse. I think getting removing yourself from that situation, even going to a different room in your house or your flat, having a cup of tea, just sit, watching de-stress, watching TikTok, something whatever, take you away, and then when you go back, you feel a bit fresher. It gives you like a clear head, and you can go back into working on it rather than just sitting ruminating at it, and just removing yourself from the situation, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like I'm plugging RGU here, but we've got so much good of the sports facilities that we've got here. Quite a lot of yoga, you know, so the timetable in advance that you can again plan, you know, and
there's
just
free student
membership.
Definitely take use of that. I mean, it's a fantastic facilities here, and who doesn't love free things?
If you go in and do, you don't have to go fast paced and run for an hour and, you know, do all these weights. Just kind of going in and doing a small walk in the totally when you've got that 10 minutes between, taking advantage of all that.
And you know, just to chat about some Christmassy things, what's some like your favorite Christmas recipe, especially since some students will be home alone during Christmas. What are some of your recommended recipes for students to try out?
So cliche. I love gingerbread man.
Gingerbread.
It's first leaving thing, and like I do often do it with my family, and then you know you get to decorate them afterwards and make them look as silly as you want. I think it's really good, and you know they usually taste good if you get the correct recipe. Definitely be my personal one because I recommend it, but I like it. You know, it's fun.
Necessarily big that I've seen in the shops quite a few times. Even in Aldi, they have like sacks that come with a lot of it. So all you've got to do like roll it out, and it's still just as fun. Even if you're not like if you don't feel like baking, you can just roll it out, cut out the shapes, decorate it yourself. And I think it was like $1.99 or something. Like you can get it at quite affordable prices.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere like you can get the kits for gingerbread houses.
And
you can spend like heaps of time
putting it together,
decorating that. That takes up so much time. It's so handy. I love it.
I don't know if I should say it because I don't know if I Cluty dumpling. Becky didn't. But it's like it's hard to explain. Traditional Christmas pudding, and it's you kind of put it together, put it in a clute, and then put it and it boils. It must be like 3-4 hours, is it? It's quite a long time. And then you take it out and take out the clute, and it's like a fruit. I don't want to insult it by saying it's a fruit sponge cake because it's not.
It's essentially that, but
close to like quite dense.
Yeah.
Like a sponge. But
I mean, so yeah, it's definitely. I think it's pretty good. You know, get in touch with traditions. Like if you're from Scotland, get in touch with those traditions, or even if you're international and you've come here and maybe want to explore maybe some of kind of the traditions that we have here. I'm not saying every Scottish person eats.
Recipe just because it's fantastic. Get in touch with a little bit. You can give me a go at making this cluty dumpling.
It's better than clute dumpling. And yeah, so talking about international students and people who are staying back as well, what are some of the fun things that students can do in Aberdeen?
Definitely, like we said, the Christmas market, they're a good laugh. They've got some rides there. With my friends went on it. It was good. A good laugh. So I would definitely recommend that, or the pantomime as well.
Yeah, pantos. Yeah, the pantos are always really good. Kind of going back to what Erin said, like you don't have to go there with someone. Like you can go there yourself there to enjoy it. So during the kind of intermission, chat to the person next to you and just like have a laugh about it. But yeah, definitely recommend the pantos. They'll be good. Christmas market is, I think it's good. Stalls and rides and stuff, just a good laugh.
They have a lot of local stalls. I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Open up at Marshall's College at the back, and it's all local people that come in. So it's like local businesses that go around. You've got like they have like little tasters and stuff, so you can go up there and even if you don't want to buy anything, you can just have a little taster of their stuff.
Amazing. Yeah, and maybe things that you can do. You've got the cinema. You've got shopping. There's bowling around the city. You've got Lane 7. You've got Coronas, which is few mini golfing courses. Maybe don't recommend the outdoor one currently. The time for it, or just wrap up warm. It's always a good laugh. I think it's quite fun to do those things.
But also jump on the bus and go to somewhere in Aberdeenshire. There's quite a lot of National Trust. You've got just beside me we've got Leaf Addo House. You've got Slains Castle and
the Castle.
The Not fantastic just beside Stonehaven.
They do like Christmas craft fairs as well
Yeah.
on the weekend, so that would be really good.
You can do like walks. It's called Sail Beach. I don't know if you've ever been. It's up at Newborough. It's by the way, but it's quite nice. You're guaranteed to like see seals every time. So if you're quite an outdoors person, you want to get out at the beach. It's really like calming.
We're lucky, like kind of where we are. Up in the northeast, we're surrounded by beautiful scenery. We've got to kind of hills or like forest area and stuff. There's anything you kind of like to surround yourself with. We're very lucky to kind of have here. So as you say, you don't need to stay within the confines of Aberdeen City. There beautiful places around in the Shire.
Even if you like a little cup of tea, there's Dobby's, the garden centre, that always has like little Christmas decorations. It's quite nice to walk around.
Yeah, I love a garden.
It's got a nice little some food. So that's like I quite like going for a coffee and
and bus services for the Shire comes out of Union Square. So if you can get yourself to Union Square, you can get yourself this.
And I was also thinking like people who like high level activity, about hiking, mountain hiking, going to the snow. What kind of activity do you think we can recommend to students?
There's quite a lot of Monroes. There's a Monroe near Aberdeen. That'd be a little drive away.
Little hills. Benihee, which is just beside Inch, and then you've got to get to. You've got Loch Mick. There's one more over that way. And then, but you've also got, you can take the bus to Ballot or the bus that leaves from Union Square, and you've got, up beside Balmoral, you've got quite a lot up there. You've got Glen Shee if you take a car. If you can, I don't think you can get there by bus, but if you had a car, you could go up to Glen Shee, and you've got snowboarding and skiing. A lot of winter sports there, and it's worth looking out for. I live in Aberdeenshire. You've got at Huntly and Afford, you've got like ski slopes. So that if there's a local ski slope centre.
Oh, there's one in Aberdeen next to right near here. It's literally 2 seconds. After down at the bottom, there's a dry ski slope.
Yeah, you've got
there as well.
And then you've also got like Transition Extreme down by Aberdeen Beach, which offer a range of things. I think they offer like kind of wall climbing. They've got like your BMX kind of stuff as well. So
there's a little cafes at Aberdeen Beach as well. Really nice. They've opened a new restaurant down the front there, and it's like you get served by robots, like cat robots. Along the pier, there's all the cafes. It's called. It's got like little robots that serve. That's like a new, but it's a bit of a different experience. It's not necessarily like Christmas, but they've got robots that serve you, take your order, and I think you punch it in, and it's like they look like little cats.
Check it out.
But yeah, there's lots
Lots
to
to
do,
do.
and it's definitely a planning stage and being organised.
Yeah.
You know, the internet is a fantastic thing.
Oh, absolutely. Just Google in Aberdeen or the
And you-
Shire. It'll flag up, you know.
Stonehaven, the Havenstock,
Stonehaven,
that's nice.
yeah.
The chip shop, fish and chips.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. I mean, it's
Again, chocolate as well. Is that your thing? But yeah, there's loads to do. I think that's like, it's know where to start, but I'd say we've kind of given some starter things, and you know, definitely say
It has been so much fun. So what's your students who will be staying back for the holidays as we wrap this up? So I'll just ask you first.
like you said, it's like just recognizing when you're feeling lonely, don't isolate yourself from people, get in contact with people, ask if you can have a little FaceTime call, do these things like quizzes, something fun, trying to organise it. It's just keeping in touch with people and knowing that you have always got someone to reach out to, and there's all these services out there. So yeah, just not isolating yourself.
my kind of top tip is learning what works for you in terms of what improves your mental health and well-being. So it's trying these all these different techniques. As I say, at Peer Support, we post a few of them. You're more than welcome to get in touch with us if you need some recommendations. But you know, find the grounded techniques. Does reading a book kind of help you? It's take this time to learn what works for you, and when you find something that works for you, write it down. So then when you're in this heightened state, you can go, where's my list? Okay, there's my list. This is what works, and then just work through them in order and just till you feel better. I think that would be my top tip.
I was going to say both of those. I guess, again, it's just kind of falling on, but I think we're all on the same kind of path here. It's just not to be alone, you know. Being alone and being lonely is two completely separate things. And it is just, as Deanna just said, being in touch with how you feel. Like, use the services. Don't be ashamed or feel embarrassed. You know, one of the key messages which we as Peer Support always acknowledge is that, you know, health. You know, everyone's got mental health, same as physical health. And if you are having a bad day, reach out to your services, lean on your friends, you know, get in touch with your family. And if you know, for the students that will be spending Christmas alone, you know, technology, we've got a lot of technology, you know, organise the quiz nights and the Zoom nights, and, you know, sit down and have dinner over Zoom with your families. It's not the same, but it's an alternative option. But yeah, just not to be alone, and to use us and to use the services that are available.
Yeah, I agree with all of those. I've been saying taking time for yourself and looking after yourself, I think, and remembering what you enjoy and do that. Like, even if it's just reading a book or whatever, just take time for yourself.
Absolutely. And please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach out to me at rg_pressu on Instagram and also Facebook and Twitter. And you can reach out to Peer Support as well, even if it's just to ask questions about where you can find some services that you need. And in case of an emergency as well, don't forget to reach out to 9. I think that's 999. Yeah,
999.
999.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining this conversation. It was really fun. Thank you very much for being. And I don't know if is it too early to say Merry Christmas?
That's all.
Thanks everyone, and
Have a good
have a lovely
Christmas.
afternoon. Merry Christmas.
Bye.